Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. For those of you who are not in the meeting when I first introduced myself, my name is Chidera Umule, and I will be your moderator for today for our class, Communication in Politics on Social Media. So I hope we're all glad to be here today for this class. And I was just checking through the participants, I was just 55. Please go to your political group chats and remind your classmates to please join the call. Please. You cannot just all be 55 here. Sure, we're more than that. Thank you. In hopes that our facilitator is on the call, let us not waste much of our facilitator's time because we're giving 5 minutes grace for our other classmates to join the call. So we'll be reading out the bio of our facilitator. Please indicate if you can hear me, please.
You can hear each other.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be reading out the bio of our facilitator for today. And here it goes. We have here Mr. Kevin Akoje. He's a brand engagement consultant, politician, public speaker, security commentator, social analyst, and serial mediapreneur. He ran for a seat in the National Assembly to represent Kogi East Senatorial District in the 2019 elections. He is also the country director for SGG Radio and the founder of Climate Action Nigeria. He is a University of Abuja alumni and the prestigious class of 96 of the Nigerian Defense Academy, where he trained as a Master in Defense and Strategic Studies. An avid martial artist, enthusiast, climate reality leader, and alternative dispute resolution practitioner. Member Board of Trustees, Electoral College Nigeria. Mr. Kelvin was born into a family of 4 siblings in total. He is a Catholic and married with 2 kids. Please, can we put a hands of applause together for our facilitator through the comment section?
Good day, everyone.
Welcome.
I'd like to first say that Kevin's profile does not do justice to who he is. Kevin is one of the founding members of the Electoral College. Kevin has been instrumental to what the Electoral College is. Kevin has also been, probably one of the people that has made the Electoral College who is. I'm very proud to introduce my friend, my brother, someone who's Nigerian. So Kevin speaks 3 of Nigeria's major languages, Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba fluently. He's like a joker at the Electoral College has. So it's interesting to introduce my brother. And I beg, I'm calling you brother too much. That what? I probably have an electric post before him. I will show which brother nonsense. Kevin,
Sir,
I remain loyal to your government, my brother. I look forward to your class and thank you very much, my brother.
distinguished, I'm very grateful for this opportunity as always. Thank you very much for all you've done for us in the college and all you will continue to do, because our job, a thankless one, is still brooding and brewing as always. So for the cohort, it's a pleasure to be in your midst. And if I may say, today, can we start? Or do we have to wait for a few more seconds?
No, sir, you can start, sir.
No, Kevin, we need to take it back a little bit. And let me tell you why we need to take it back a little bit.
Okay.
it's common for the average politician to assume that social media is not important. But when you look at Nigeria in its entirety, you're going to understand that the basic principle is that we have decided voters, we have undecided voters. Undecided voters represent 66.23%. Decided voters are just 3.13%. Um, if you can use social media, you might be able to change the world. But the problem is the tenacity to try to attempt the world. And I think for me, that's where people miss it. I'll tell you, this fact's more important than most people think it is. And it will direct. And I learned from Kevin. Kevin will say, Kuni, the electoral college is posting like this. They're not saying exactly what they are doing. And I was like, okay, Kevin, leave me alone. But thank you so much for everything you done.
Thank
I
you,
look
sir.
forward to your class and I look forward to learning from you, sir.
Thank you. So, Madam Moderator, do you have the slides in place?
Yes, we have some handling the slides, sir.
So, if you can share so we can begin, because this class, as always, is never enough for 60 minutes.
Please share the slides.
Choma Chukwu is about to take the helms. So, Choma, while you are getting to do that, we always like to say from the beginning of this class, let me use the interesting word that has been used in the 20th century. We are not alone. And because we are not alone, a whole lot of our activities are documented and will stand through the test of time for people to see us, our children, and our children's children in the future. And so
Kevin, I'd like
when
to
we are
say at this point, Kevin, I'd like to say at this point,
yes, sir.
for everybody that is here, I'll add a plus one. For plus one for the attendance. For everybody that's not here, I'll subtract a one. And let me make it clear. For any party that does not ensure that its people are here, because we're taking standards for political parties and electoral college. So for any party that forms up the list, I'm going to minus 5 from the points. I'm going to minus 2 from every executive, meaning they will fail. I do not understand why I have a class of about something. But Kevin, my leader,
Yes.
you have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, once more. Distinguished Kunila, my friend, my brother, my partner in the struggle for the emancipation of Nigeria
Yes,
and for the,
and now you're dodging
and for the
bullets,
buying of our
Papa.
private jets.
You buy, yes. And the buying of the forms that time at 1.5 million. Bros, that was a lot of money in 2019.
2019, sir.
So, yeah, so we did it together. Who are you calling, sir? Kevin, stop that nonsense. Both Arsenal fans. So if you're
So
not Arsenal here, if you're not
I'm
Arsenal
actually
here,
I'm
you're
actually wearing
failed.
my jersey. I'm actually
Ah,
wearing my jersey.
you're not Arsenal here, there's problem.
Well, it's good to be here. Thanks to God for giving us life and once more to share in our vast knowledge, experience, and the interaction that we're going to have. For we in political science, we call it dialectical materialism. And so, back to the class, communication in politics, a focus on social media, digital mediums, and how we can advance our ideations using these platforms. One thing I want to lay for here now is that we are going to be giving you the tools to manage should you be an an election management body? Should you be a candidate or a party flag bearer? Should you be a party manager, chairman, or whatever role you play in the party? Communication in politics is very sacrosanct with regards to advocacy and pushing out your narrative. And as a teacher that I am, I want us to go into some particular definitions of what we are doing today. Communication in politics basically is a subfield of communication and political science that is largely concerned with how information is spread, information influences politics, influences policymakers, influences the news that we have or the media entities. We know that before time now, the way in which politics has been met with regards to political parties and the public has been rather adversarial because we know that certain parties own certain media platforms and then certain parties in power orchestrate or manage information that is shared on digital platforms. So now we are assuming all things being equal, ceteris paribus, that we have a level playing ground and we are all in the political ecosystem to practice politics, achieve politics, to ensure individuals are put in power, to ensure that individuals put in power are expressing that power within the maxims of the Constitution and within the maxims of their political powers as political parties, regardless of the dynamics that we have in the Nigerian area. So back to our conversation on communication in politics, which is a subfield of communication and political science, like I earlier said, concerned with how information is spread, influenced between politics, political stakeholders, policymakers, the news, media, and citizens. I always like to draw from one of our elders in politics, Harold Laswell, when he defined politics as he who gets what, when, and how. And since we are discussing political communication, I want to redefine his definition of politics in our own maxim right now as he who says what, to whom, when, where, and with which medium. So, in as much as we're discussing social media, we might touch on one or two of other mediums in which information is being expressed and narratives shared or managed between the ecosystem that we are in. So, I can't see the slides rolling. So, are we on the same page? Because I would love to continue because we do not have any time. And one of the greatest maxims I like to start with is that the internet never forgets. Luckily for us in the Nigerian area, we have the internet at the at our fingertips. And for all of us in this class right now, we know that we are all benefits of the internet age. And as such, we have access to the internet. And even this conversation that we are sharing today can be reviewed in the next few minutes after the class because it is broadcasted online and will be shared and saved on a platform. And while we're saying this, while the internet never forgets, we need to know that there are people that consume this particular information that is shared on the internet. And these people will never forget. In quote, the people will always remember. Next is who are the people? The people is me and you on this call. The people are the 774 local governments in Nigeria. The people are the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory. The people, including stakeholders, include the election management body, which is INEC. The people includes the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, regardless of their state to be non-partisan. They play a significant role in what will come to bear with regards to leadership as we have it at the moment, whether we like it or not. And so we start through the definition with regards to our presentation. What is communication? We know that communication is a continuous loop sharing of information which spans from an in particular source, and this source reaches the people through a certain medium or channel, and then this information is received by individuals who we have surnamed now the people. And these individuals that receive this information, while they are receiving this information, they are not without some level of effect. This effect theoretically is called noise, and this noise is what controls or determines how we perceive what we engage in. And so this particular engagement that we're referring to now is referred to as the responsiveness of the individual who gets what, when, and how. By inference, like I said earlier, he who says what, to whom, how, what, and with what effect. Yes, our class is going to be limited to social media or digital platforms, but in the use of digital platforms, we know that we have on a plain level the usage of the internet, that's the World Wide Web, the usage of microsites or blogs, as we call it, the usage of social media platforms, the usage of mass media platforms, and the like. And so, if we might want to start with the use of the web, remember in the Electoral College, we teach you tools to arm you with the ammunition to go ahead as an individual running for office, or as a party member, or as a party executive, or as a national management body, to be able to set up digital platforms to showcase your idea or narratives, build them such that information or disinformation shall be limited. Because whether you like it or not, because we are in politics, there are individuals who are solely engineered to commandeer the activities of disinformation or fake news. And so it is up to you to see how you can manage or limit these influences on your party, on the electoral management body, on the country Nigeria, on the political ecosystem, and the political office holders. And so we go ahead to start with the whole idea of mass media. Before now, we know that before the age of the internet, we have individuals who stand up, in quotes, what we call town criers. Now, in the light of our digital platform, which is this conversation, we call them keypad warriors. So those keypad warriors, albeit swayed by different parties, play their own roles in communication in politics. And so it's now left for you to see how you can marshal your own warriors to put out your conversation and indeed a narrative, and indeed sway this narrative towards your goal, which is ensuring that your party presents a candidate for power or for an elective office, and your candidate wins that office, and your candidate wields that office, does his duty as enshrined by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, such that he does it so well and is being re-elected for another term, and what have you. So that is where we are at the moment. And so back to these tools. We know that mass medium will never stop. We know that the role of town criers or door-to-door members will never stop. We know that the influences of individuals sharing flyers, setting up billboards, doing digital campaigns online will never be obsolete. And so, in as much as we've identified all of these people, it means that they have a role to play in communication in politics. But while we are looking at all of these stakeholders, four different characters are necessary to be put in place. One, in the consumption of information, this information that is being shared or projected or built, the individual sharing this information or reacting to this information, are they reactionary? Are they progressive with the information shared? Are they empathetic? And are they diplomatic with the information they have received and are broadcasting? So these are the basic informations that we need to receive and understand. I can see you are sharing the basic templates that was supposed to be shared to the class for them to consume before this class. You are sharing the social media metrics beginners and the social media pocket guide. You are supposed to be sharing the communication in politics slide itself. These other slides you are sharing are what you are supposed to have sent to the class for them to consume before today. So please change it. You're supposed to be sharing the PowerPoint slides, not the PDF documents. Please cross-check and review. Thank you. So what is social media? Not to waste time, all of us are armed with devices that actually have a few social mediums that are very popular in our demographic. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. So these are digital mediums in which we expect that the political ecosystem or stakeholders in the ecosystem will embrace, because on an average, any mobile device that's enabled to use the internet has all these apps preset on their platforms. We do not want to go into the multiplicity of platforms that exist with regards to information that can be shared, but in trying to subsume a couple, we reduce them to 5 platforms: networking, blogging, video sharing, photo sharing, and microblogging. For networking, we have Google Plus, Facebook, and LinkedIn. For blogging, we have Movable, WordPress, Blogger, and Squarespace, including some more that have recently come on. Then for video sharing, we have Vimeo, YouTube. Then lastly, for photo sharing, we have Flickr, Instagram, and Pinterest. Beautiful. The slides are now up. Thank you very much. So we proceed. Why or what is social media? I can see that on our screen now. And these are technologies. So, yes, so we have seen the definition there. So I want to presume that this has been shared already with the team before now, so that we're on the same page. So the idea of social media comes because it seems to be an easy means to appeal to a certain demographic. And growing up, we are told that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. And then, as such, if I am a stakeholder in the political ecosystem of a particular area, I need to understand what the youth presently are using. These supposed leaders of tomorrow, what are the platforms that the youth engage in and play in? And that is why social media is of great effect for us on this conversation. And that is why we always need to bring it to the fore. And while talking about social media, I always want to change the name whenever we talk about it in this class to the concept of marketing. When you go to a marketplace, you want to prepare stew, for instance. You need pepper, salt, maggi, onions, tomatoes, ginger, garlic, and what have you. And you have a multiplicity of persons selling all of these articles in that same market. It's now left for you, who has what we call effective demand, as we define in economics. Effective demand refers to individual who has a want backed up by money, coming into the marketplace and choosing the particular vendor that he or she wants to buy from. And so I ask you, do you have effective demand? And then while I'm talking about whether or not you have effective demand, I want to tell you also that should you be 18 years of age in Nigeria, following the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you have ingrained in you effective demand, because you have a right to vote and be voted for, except for the positions to run for. And so obviously, should you be 18 years of age, which is universal adult suffrage that we have in Nigeria, you cannot run for presidency. You need to be above 35 to be able to run for presidency. And so, should you be above 18 years of age, you have the right to vote and be voted for. And so, if you are in the marketplace, it means you have the right, the economic power, that money to choose who you buy your pepper, maggi, salt, onion from. And then you're not just buying it from them, you're buying it with joy, happiness, and gladness. And you're taking it home to go and prepare a meal that you will eat that will be a form of sustenance to you and your household or family for that day and for many days to come. In an analogy with it in politics, it means you have the tool to vote for who will lead, manage, and govern you today, tomorrow, and for 4 years, or should they want to extend their tenure for another 4 years, as the case may be, with regards to the executive, with regards to the legislature, and what have you. So, back to you now, that is the individual in the marketplace. What value or or measure do you place on yourself? Because if you do not place a certain value on yourself, you will not engage in the voter registration exercise. Remember, the Electoral College is not a party or is not a school in disarray. Our duty is to put you in purview and understanding such that you can exist in the Federal Republic of Nigeria with regards to the actions, values, opportunities, and negatives, as we call it, that exist in the Constitution. And so, should you be 18 years of age, it is sacrosanct that you needed to have registered to vote, be voted for, or registered as a card carrying member of a particular political party. Now, back to the marketing place. What happens in the marketing place? Is a place in which individuals are promoting, selling products or services. Is a place in which some certain individuals sit down and they do market research. Is a place in which some certain individuals go ahead and are projecting or advertising a particular candidate. Marketing, in theoretical form words, it's a management process in which goods and services move from the concept, that's the concept of the founder, the ideator, the card carrying member, the political office holder, the political party, the electoral management body, to the customer. And the customer is me and you right now listening to this call, and who will listen to this call in the future, and who will learn from you listening to this call as we speak. So these definitions are what exactly follow the conversations in the political ecosystem. And so we ask ourselves, why do we even have to go to this marketplace, to be precise? Because I can just be an average Nigerian citizen living my life, and when they declare a public holiday for us to go and vote, I rent a boat and I go to the Atlantic Ocean, fish, and come back home. I don't care who leads or rules the country. And yes, there are individuals like that that exist, whether we like it or not. But we go back to the whole idea of the marketplace. Why the marketplace? Because for start, there exists a problem to be solved, a service to be rendered, a position to be occupied, a role to be played, and duty to the state. You need to go forward some more. We're past this particular slide, you know. And then for the individuals who are taking place or actively in this ecosystem, they are there because they have a product or service to offer. In the case of a political party, they want to offer a candidate to come and occupy a position. In the case of the election management body, they have a duty to ensure that whoever occupies that position is one that is tested, trusted, and tried, verified as per the constitutional maxims of the country to occupy that position. And then these individuals who are occupying this position, why are they even there? Some of them obviously are born from a desire for the love of God and country. Some are there because, yeah, I had the right links and the network. And so my father is XYZ. My father was a former president. And so, in other words, I deserve to also be a senator, a representative in the red chambers, or an individual that should be the chairman of my local government or a council member in my local government. So these are the conversations that will come to bear. Yes, beautiful. Why market? To some, it's a burden or a passion to express yourself. And then lastly, which is the funny one that people do not always want to think about, it's a job. Whether we like it or not, individuals that occupy political power or occupy political positions are employed to do a particular job, and they are paid for this service or whatever it is that they do for us. And so, whatever it is that motivates you to be in the marketing place, it stands valid. But sacrosanct in all of the activity is that there must be a product, there must be a price to pay, there must be some action of promotion, advertisement, engagement, and there must be a particular place in which these activities will take place. Right now, luckily for all of us, we are in the age of electioneering, and we have seen parties do their primaries, offer up individuals who will become flag bearers. And right now, based on the INEC calendar, all the parties are supposed to have submitted the names of individuals who will run for both president, vice president, gubernatorial, deputy governor, senate, house of rep, and what have you. Not to belittle the role of the state assembly. Remember, in the broad categorization of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, we have for the role of the executive, the president, the governor, and the local government chairman. These are the three characters of the executive. Then for the legislature, we have the National Assembly, which encompasses the House of Senate and the House of Representatives. And on a state level, we have the State House of Assembly. And on the local level, we have the local government council members. And the judiciary, now on the federal level, which is only exists basically, is the Supreme Court, the High Court, the Magistrate Court that we have, and lastly, Customary Court of Appeal. So we have these three broad ranges of individuals that occupy the ecosystem in a political or in a polity, as we call it in school. So then now back to digital mediums in which we spoke about earlier, that luckily for us are already preloaded on our mobile devices: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and what have you. Remember, we spoke about this class being a means to ensure that individuals that want to run for office know how to maximize this medium, and the individuals that are in this class that are not running for office know how to understand and perceive information that is shared on these platforms to make sure that what they are learning or what is being published on this platform is not such that will sway them out of character and make them vote for someone that is not of what they want. And so the basic lowest common denominator amongst all of these platforms is that they all have governance platforms. And these governance platforms, should you not subject yourself to them, when you make a post, your post can be muted, deleted, or your account locked or blocked. And so it is one pertinent thing that you understand what to post on this platform, how to post, when not to post, and how you manage what is shared on these platforms. Using the general perspective, because I do not always want us to limit our conversations in communication in politics to just limit social media. If I may use, in other words, on these platforms, you need to know how to talk, when to talk, who exactly are you talking to, what manner are you speaking to them, which is what I expressed earlier. The manner in which you're speaking to them, are you reactionary? Are you progressive? Are you empathetic? Are you diplomatic? And then what exact medium are you using? And most importantly, what narrative are you showcasing and controlling? This is very important in communication in politics because, like me and you know, I do not expect a town crier to be trying to post on Facebook to showcase to his local government. He has a role that the people understand, and because he's a town crier, so he should have maybe a leaflet or a pamphlet or information embedded in his brain, and he's going around the world or the community and telling them, hello, hello, we have a town hall meeting by 5 p.m. to discuss the candidacy between A, B, and C, and who should lead us between A, B, and C for this local government, or for the state gubernatorial position, or for the position of the president of the Federal Republic. And after he does that, we go into a town hall meeting, and then he who leads that town hall meeting is expressing his communication by voice. I do not expect that somebody will be in a town hall meeting, he's moderating a town hall meeting, and he's posting on social media for individuals in the hall to check and review and then respond. And so you need to know who you are talking to. And so when you are understanding who you are talking to, it will now determine the medium in which you use to communicate with them. And so I want to presume that in all the 774 local governments, should you want to engage in an advocacy whatsoever, you will have to do it physically, verbally, using verbal cues and non-verbal cues to express your ideas, ideations, concept, interactions to the individuals or your narrative, such that you sway their idea to follow your particular narrative that you are putting to bear. And so, should we be talking about how to talk, when to talk, who to talk to, mannerisms and medium? It means in the first place, you have something to say. And so, who are the individuals who have something to say? We start once more in breaking it down. We do not have independent candidacy in Nigeria. And so, for you to have something to say, you must be in a political party or you must be a political party. And so, who are the political parties or who are the registered political parties in Nigeria? It is it you owe yourself a duty to find out who the registered political parties are in Nigeria. Because whether we like it or not, even if you are sitting in your house, you might not see a billboard of all the political parties that are running for office in our country, Nigeria. Then, with regards to election management body, you owe yourself a responsibility to find out if you are not registered to vote, when the window for registration of voting opens, so you can exercise your universal adult suffrage to register to vote. And then in that suffrage, you exercise your right to change your polling unit should you have left one location to another for whatever justified reason whatsoever. And should you have changed your polling unit, the election management body reserves the right to show you that we have received your request for changing of your polling unit. We have received your request for you to be registered to vote. This is your voter registration details. This is your voter registration details as per your polling unit. And then it is the duty of the election management body to publish the information with regards to the unit in which you'll be voting, which are the information that will come to bear when you come to vote. Because when you come to vote, the voting register will publish physically in the voting location, either on the wall or printed on a piece of paper that you can review and know your number, so that when you're coming to vote, the IRF platform will be able to respond to your voter registration card and then transmit your vote to ensure that your vote has been counted and then transmitted with regards to the total number of votes that will be achieved for the individuals going to vote or be voted for. And then for a political party, they must have submitted themselves for vetting, been duly registered by INEC, albeit a rigorous process, with their ideology, their party insignia, their party motto or logo, and what they stand for, and the individuals that are flag bearers of that political party. So, in this case now, if you notice, I've identified three limited stakeholders: individuals who can vote, a political party which is the engine for the voting process, and the election management body that manages the process of voting during an electioneering period. And with regards to the communication in politics, we need to understand that the political process, if I may reduce it into um, some form of a subset, involves the period before elections, the period of election, the period after election or post-election, and then the period in which these individuals are sworn in to occupy those positions. In all of these four positions, there is a system of communication, or if I may use engine language, combustion that exists between the stakeholders to ensure that these four processes move around seamlessly. Before election, the voter registration platform is open for individuals to vote, to register to vote, or register to change their voting location. The dates for voting are published and established before the voting date as prescribed by the Constitution, so that individuals who need to vote or be voted for need to go to their polling units or wards or constituencies to ensure that their own personal votes too count. And then during the period of election, to ensure that the polling officers are intact, on non-partisan, to ensure that the election observers exist and are performing their roles non-partisan, but as stakeholders in the will of that particular democracy. Then talking about democracy, I love to always put this in our conversations to say, I doff my hat for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because regardless of how old we are in this game of democracy, we are, what language will I use now? We are a democracy to be reckoned with, because whether we like it or not, Africa is the future. Africa holds the largest population in the world, and by 2030, we need to hold and control the reins of international politics, international economy in our hands. And so, who we tell to jump should respond to how high, because we have all the metrics of development, regardless of whatever paradigm that we put in place, at our beck and call. And so, period of election and then post-election, where we talk about mandate protection, because that is one part of the conversation that we always miss out. Yes, I know we're discussing about digital communications, communication in politics, but we forget that in as much as we have galvanized all of these actions towards voting, we have an extra role which is called mandate protection. If you are not there to oversee the polling officers counting the ballots and ensuring that they are registering exactly 5 votes to this party or to this candidate for this position, we know that there will be an anomaly. And that anomaly is what is published on the IREL. And so if you are not there to ensure that the mandate in which you have casted by voting for your person or voting for your party is not held sacrosanct, we will miss the ball. And so, like Kunle always says, he says, one of the greatest lies that people have put, or that politicians have put in front of us, is that politics is a dirty game. And because we are holier than thou, we try not to engage in the process. And our duty of not engaging in the process enslaves us to the realities of what will be in the future. Because should you not engage in the political process, you are subservient to whoever it is that comes to lead, rule, or guide you with regards to the polity in which you exist. So be you in the 36 states of Nigeria and the federal capital, whether you engage in the political process or not, you will have a governor, you will have a president, you will have a local government chairman, you will have council members who are holding power supposedly in your stead, but because you did not vote, you cannot hold them accountable because you did not vote. Then now talking about this whole idea of holding them accountable, now we have led to a now level of political emancipation where even if you are not a card carrying member of a political party, you can actually cast your vote for your favorite candidate. And that favorite candidate can be called to bear, held accountable for that role that he or she plays. And should they not fulfill that role, the communication in politics has it such that you can either recall that person, you can engage in a referendum with regards to the status of that person, with regards to showcasing, managing, or projecting the wills and caprices of the people. Remember, we say in democracy is the government of the people, for the people, by the people. And so at all and every given time, any political office holder should represent the whims and caprices of the people. Yes, another school of thought will say, he who pays the piper will take the tune. In as much as we cannot decipher or separate politics and money, hence we in the academic calling what we coining a term called monetics, wherein politics is subservient. We now have money being a superficial factor in who gets what, when, and how in an electoral process. But regardless, we have a role to play as individuals in our country and as individuals who have a duty to themselves as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic. And so, when we talk about how politicians and electorate must communicate, we need to understand these processes. Remember, when I spoke about the whole idea of a town crier creates momentum to feed a town hall meeting. And a town hall meeting exists in a constituency. That constituency is what exists because all political office holders in the National Assembly, for instance, need to have constituency offices. And because they have constituency offices, those constituency offices stand as a place in which the individuals or members of that constituency or ward go to make reference to their legislature to ensure that all and every time what he stands for or she stands for in the National Assembly is as they have requested, being the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Same with the executive, wherein the governor, the president does not exist in his own vacuum, but establishing leadership laws and dictates from the Federal Executive Council as per the wills, objectives, and caprices of the people he or she governs. So these are the facts that need to be brought to bear whenever we're talking about communication in politics. Back to our earlier conversation with regards to how individuals or how information is shared in this marketplace or in communication.
No.
Hello?
Now, I mean, what did you write? Bronze. Bronze.
Please mute your call, please. Somebody is speaking there. We spoke largely about being reactionary, progressive, empathetic, and diplomatic. Information that is shared, how is it shared? How is it projected? Is it such that whenever the government of the day has issues, they just come up and just respond reactionary and say, yes, the train between Itakpe and Kaduna did not go through because people stole the rail line. And because people stole the rail line, that's why it did not go through. No. Should that be the answer that I want to hear? I mean that I paid for a ticket from Warri to Kaduna. That's not what I want to hear. The fact that I paid money means that I have my right to get to my location. And so should you be trying to react to a mishap between my journey via the train from Itakpe in Warri to Kaduna, you need to understand how to either be reactionary, progressive, empathetic, or diplomatic. So these are the communication things that you need to understand. And then, if I may throw it back to an extra level of schooling, in communication in politics, you need to seriously understand the psychology of the people who consume the information that you are sharing. And then, by definition, what is psychology? It's largely a study of the mind and the behavior of the people, a study of both conscious and unconscious phenomenon, feelings, thoughts, interactions, or the boundaries between natural and social sciences. And so let me use the advanced democracies, one of the advanced democracies, as an example in case. We've seen an individual running for office, and in some particular places that he or she goes to campaign, he wears a t-shirt. In some, he wears a suit and tie. In another, he wears a packet shirt. In another, he wears a packet shirt with folded sleeves. In another, he wears a packet shirt, folded sleeves, but a dusty shoe. In another, he does not come in a private jet. He comes in couch, in a bus. He comes via train. There are a whole lot of reasons in which all of these mannerisms are put in place. Why? Because the individuals you want to showcase your communication to, you need to showcase that you are one with them and one for them in trying to express your narrative. Because if you do not express your narrative as one with them, they will not take you as one for them. Remember, it is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And so, back to our earlier definition of he who says what, when, and how. In what you are saying, this particular information that you are sharing, does it have value? Does this information speak to your target demographic? Does this information that you are sharing speak to your candidacy and what your party stands for? And does this information you are sharing stand with the corporate governance ideas of the platform in which you are using? Remember now, we all know now, we are in the age of content creation. If you go and do any content and you put audio or music or video that you don't have rights to, YouTube can mute your video or block it because you don't have rights to that song. And then right now we know that individuals who are also in the music of business, in the business of music, that have put music out there, they are expressing their copyright. That is why, should you want to make a post on Instagram, should you select a song from the Instagram platform, your post will go through. But if you did your video independently and you superimpose that song, Instagram can block your post. Why? Because Instagram did not give you the leeway to use that sound. Because whenever they give you the leeway to use that sound, they pay some measure of copyright funds or royalties to the owner of that song. Because remember, we're in a lucky state of affairs where we do not have to pay subscription to use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And so there must be a midway in which all parties are happy and favorable. And so, while we are thinking of all of this, you need to understand that should you not follow the corporate governance platforms or rules in which these platforms exist, your content will not be showcased. Back to communication in politics. We can see that now our communication in politics is not without influence of some certain materials or certain character. You cannot express communication in politics without having a strategy of some point to ensure that whatever it is you are sharing at any particular time does not showcase the narrative of your political party, showcase the narrative of the candidate, showcase the narrative of the election management body, or as showcased in the governance platform, whatever platform you are using. So these are all of the things that need to come to bear should you want to engage in communication in politics. Remember, most importantly is your return on investment. I'm using the word investment because we are in a marketplace where you are trying to sway people's ideas with regards to your candidacy and why they should stand for you or vote for you. And the final basis of the election or communication in politics cycle is the fact that you need to know that these individuals who occupy political power are the whims and caprices of everybody. And should they be in the whims and caprices of everybody, we need to know that we can hold them accountable. And in holding them accountable, that is why we have town hall meetings or constituency or ward meetings, or options in which we can showcase our ideas to our legislators, to the governor, to the government of the day, via letters, emails, calls, SMSs, or advocacy visits to our representatives. So these are many are the things that will come to bear in the whole idea of communication in politics. And so it is a continuous loop. It does not stop. And even after the 4 years tenure of a particular political party or certain set individuals that occupy power, it still does not stop because the constitution allows for them to either move on for an extension of tenure or extension of their role or their position either in the National Assembly or in the executive body. And so these are all of the things that we need to come to bear in discussing about the whole idea of communication in politics, which we have earlier discussed as he who says what, to whom, when, where, and with which medium in which this information is shared. Or should you be one running for office, you need to understand how to talk, when to talk, who exactly are you talking to, what manner in which you speak to them, what medium in which you showcase this information to those people, and then how you can ensure that you project your narrative and keep that narrative such that the individuals on voting day will have that narrative in their head and then indeed stand front and say, yes, this is the person in which or in whom we are putting our mandate for and voting. In the light of this, we have spoken for basically 57 minutes, and I hope I have not confused you with regards to competition in politics, and I'm available to listen to your questions and how we can move forward with regards to the topic of the day. Thank you. Madam Moderator, are you there with us?
Thank you very much, sir. I wasn't sure you were done. Thank you so much, sir, for this enlightening session. Please, can we all thank our moderator by putting up our favorite emoji in the comment section? This was really an impactful class. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll be taking questions. You can raise your hands up if you have any questions and also drop them in the comment section. Thank you. Please raise your hands up if you have any questions. I'm not seeing any hands up. Don't we have any questions for this class? Hello, please indicate if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. And we have two
Okay.
people hands up.
I hear you. Two hands up.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, please, you can unmute and ask your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Tunde Akinfolajimi. Quick question. Thank you for this talk. To what extent would you say politics is data-driven? And I'm trying to think about targeting and profiling. So I'm just thinking, how do political campaigns, I don't know if it happens in Nigeria, how do they use personal data to target their message, specific messages? I think because I'm sure stakeholders seek transparency, as we saw in I think the elections in the US some years back. And also, how effective would you say marketing is? I think that's right, because the assumption that digital campaigns are kind of decisive in election outcomes. So I'm just trying to find out what those things, how they affect the politics digitally and in Nigeria, and also to what extent, this might not be part of the course, but when it comes to digital voting, would you say that is also part of digital politics? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tunde. So whether we like it or not, politics is data-driven because it is a game of numbers. And that is why you always largely hear two-third majority. He who sways the vote need to have two-third majority of the vote as per the constituency. And that is why Nigeria is divided into 774 local governments, 6 senatorial districts, and then 1 presidential seat. And so regardless of how many parties present officers for the role of the president, only one person can win. And that one person that will win cannot just win from 1 senatorial district. It must be two-thirds of the national projection. And so in as much as we might not want to see Nigeria as one of the advanced democracies, like I spoke earlier, we hold our chest and we stand strong in saying, for the less than 60 years that we have existed as a democracy, we are a team to reckon with. We are a country to reckon with, because we have done the do and we have existed, and this is 2026. For us to have existed at this time, it means we are doing a thing or two right. So talking about data-driven now, for you to want to elect a governor, let me assume a state with 14 local governments. We all know that if that particular candidate wins 2 local governments, he obviously cannot win. Because when the votes are projected on that state scale, he or she has not won 2/3. Same with the presidency. We have 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. So let's just assume we have 37 states. If that person that is running for president only has votes in 4 states, he or she can and cannot win. He or she can't and cannot. I'm using the word can't because some people only understand the word can't, depending on the school they go to. And some use the word cannot, depending on the school they go to. So whether we like it or not, politics is data-driven, and at all and every time, data is what establishes what role anybody wins or presents or loses in the ecosystem of politics. With regards to digital democracy, I would say Nigeria is ripe, but we need the political will to put it in play. We all know that in advanced democracies, before election day, so let us say 2027 is our election year, right now, or will I say at the end of the year, some people should be able to vote via mailing their votes or registering their votes or positions online. And then the ones that cannot achieve all of that will now go physically. But in Nigeria, I'll say it's not a case in point for us now, because we need to measure our priorities and our advancement or development or where we are. Whether we like it or not, we are not as advanced as some democracies that have spent over 150 years to 200 years. But democracy is built based on local participation an understanding of local participation, and then the threats. Let me use the word SWOT analysis: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the system that exists. Me and you know that should we engage in digital democracy at this moment, it will be a challenge. We all know that even advanced democracies of over 200 years are still speaking of external interference in their politics. So imagine that we should engage in digital democracy at this time. We might not be able to manage it, which is why we saw an interesting departure in this year, where we had the option A4 system, in which, in trying to achieve individuals that will run for office, the option A4 system was brought back, where individuals will line up and they will count 1, 2, 3 from the party, not on the national level now, who will now be a flag bearer. They will now count and say, okay, this person that wants to be a flag bearer, he has 24 persons that are behind him. This other person has 1,000. The other person has 2,000. Regardless of whether the person is a former political office holder, a neophyte, or a newbie in the game, or what have you. So there's a whole lot involved, and whether we like it or not, it is largely data driven, and that is why the role of the election management body comes to bear again on why they need to be independent, as the name stands. But now, that independence is a conversation for another day. Because we in the Electoral College, we stand that the role of the chairman of the electional management body should not be at the whims and caprices of the commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic. Because as with every other employment, should I employ you to perform a role, it is necessary you do what I employed you for. Terms of reference. And so we need to create an institutional way in which he or she that becomes the chairman of the election management body is not born from a political process, but from an institutional process that holds he or she accountable, that should he or she fall short of that role, he or she can be removed and replaced at the exact minute, because it is an institution that puts that power or puts that person to perform that role, and not a political process wherein a commander-in-chief appoints XYZ to become the chairman of the electional management body, and should he or she not manage that process, he can be suspended, removed, or sacked, and another appointed politically to achieve or to basically fulfill some particular roles. So like I said, that is not the conversation for today. But with regards to your question, politics in Nigeria is largely data driven, because without that data, individuals cannot be voted into power. Then with regards to digital democracy, we as the Electoral College will say, in as much as we want to jump into that sea, we are not yet ripe for digital democracy, wherein you can mail in your votes, you can vote online regardless of whether you are in Nigeria or not, and then should you be in Nigeria, you can come physically. We are not yet ripe for that particular scenario. And so, in understanding ourselves, we will say, should you be in the political area called Nigeria, in 774 local governments, on election day, should you want to exercise your universal adult suffrage, you need to take your voter's card, go to your registered delineated polling unit, cast your vote for your candidate, watch the vote, ensure your mandate is protected, and ensure that after voting, that mandate that was established is what is projected on the IRF platform and showcased nationally as what is being sent from your polling unit. Because if we all get it right from our individual polling units in 774 local governments, we will get it right for he or she who leads, rule, or governs us in the political area called Nigeria. And so, Mr. Tunde, I hope I have answered your question, sir.
Yeah, you have. Thank you.
So I see Diombir, disinformation and misinformation on social media has always cruel communication trust before the audience. How do we rebuild and authenticate our communication and information trust before our audience? So I like to say, you people that I have on this call are not my problem. Sorry to be blunt about it, because all of you on this call are enlightened and have taken the bull by the horn to ensure that you will not be cheated or misrepresented. But how many of us are on these platforms that can confirm information shared or disinformation or fake news or whatever we have in this case? If I would say, not wanting to put so much power on individuals that have this strength, I'd say 30% of Nigerians have access to digital platforms. The remaining 70%, 20% of that 70% are relying on second level information of individuals that are online. But largely the remaining 50% do not know anything. They just come on election day and whoever gives them 2 Indomie, 1,500, a bag of salt, three bars of seasoning, and then they vote. So, with regards to this matter, we should not even be talking about information misinformation or fake news. We should be talking about basic needs. We should be talking about economic disparity. And I kid you not, should you be in a level of economic independence, there is no way in which an individual can sway your reasoning capacity to vote with 2 packets of seasoning or a kilo of Indomie or a kilo of onions, pepper, salt, as the case may be, to get your vote, because both of us know that all of these materials are perishable, but 4 years is not perishable. And so should you enjoy for a brief moment of satisfaction of getting seasoning for your meal, should they have dashed you a bag of rice, you will, in the course of 30 days maximum, expend all of that and now be left with 3 years and 11 months of pain to endure for that momentary pleasure of voting who you actually are not in tandem with to occupy power. And so, in juxtaposing with regards to election information or disinformation, there's a whole role that we here on this cohort have to play. And that is the role that the Electoral College has as a bone in her neck, because if we do not express these ideas to individuals, whether we're 5 on this class, I'm just trying to let you know that even if we are 5 persons that have logged on to this class today, this class will go on, because we believe that those 5 persons will be great ambassadors for us in the future and will showcase the information that we want to share on this platform, because the conversations in communication in politics is a continuum. And so even if you listening to this class do not run for office, even if you do not vote today or tomorrow or in 2027, the ideas you have learned in this class will color your realities for today and for many years to come, and for your interactions, albeit what do you call it? Beer table conversation. I've forgotten how a friend of mine composed it in the cathedral, in the St. Bottles Cathedral, as they call it. I'm trying to be as minute with regards to my analysis, but it is what it is. Information, misinformation, fake news, in as much as we have these tools at our hands, we have civil society organizations, we have the election management body, all of them putting tools in place to ensure that you have platforms in which you can verify information. Because right now we have realized that it's not even enough for individuals to go and vote. I don't know if you have put the scenario in mind. You actually exist in a world that you can go and vote. But online, you are seeing that there's violence in your polling unit. But from the house you are in, if you open the window, you can see that there's no violence in your polling unit. But because some certain individuals have resources to put in play to ensure that they can project that there's violence in your polling unit, you now, at the comfort of your home, will be scared to go out and vote because you don't want to be harmed. But imagine that all of us in 774 local governments, in all the individual wards that we exist in, and in all the individual polling units. Remember, a polling unit is where they will always be voting, whether there's a road there or not, whether there's power there or not, whether there's public health facility or not. That polling unit or election day will have polling materials. And so imagine that all of us in all the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the FCT come out to vote and be voted for and are projecting the valid information of our polling units. Do you think that anybody armed with $1 billion, let me use even dollars as an example, and using certain mediums can project information saying that there is violence in your polling unit when you actually are there and you're projecting real-time information of your polling unit on whatever social medium or digital platform and letting people know that there is no problem in polling unit 356/A, sector B. Everything is cool, calm, and collected. Please come out and vote. Whether you exist in an estate, whether the polling unit is at a bus stop, whether the polling unit is at a shopping plaza, or even in the INEC quarters or in the INEC compound itself. Imagine that all of us are playing our role. Where do you think disinformation will come from? It won't work because we have taken the bull by the horn and we're taking our future by ourselves and by ourselves. I can see if we are mirroring the US presidential system of government, how come Nigeria does not allow independent candidates while the US can? The simple answer is because we are an independent and sovereign state and we have a constitution. Our constitution does not have enshrined independent candidacy. And so we are not mirroring anybody whatsoever or whoever they are. We are mirroring who we are, what we stand for as a sovereign country, as a sovereign polity called the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And our system of government does not allow for federal or for individual candidacy, independent candidacy. Until that time that comes, should the legislature allow for independent candidacy and a bill is passed in the National Assembly and goes through first, second, and third reading and takes the overwhelming majority and is being sent to the president to assent to law. Until then, we do not and cannot have independent candidacy. So, Mr. Tunde, I hope I've answered your question as put in the chat room. So,
Thank you.
Madam Moderator, do we have another question?
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Mercy, you can unmute and ask your question. Then after that, I will take questions from the chat box. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for today's class, Mr. Kevin. It was very enlightening. I do have a question that is towards response. There was a point where you were speaking and the network was bad on my end, but I did hear you say something towards the line of, how, I want to term it as what's etiquette of maybe using social media, like responding to things that you find that many responses are usually reactive. And recently, that's what we've been seeing from politicians. Like it's when, something has happened, and then we get like a response. In some cases, we don't even get responses, which is part of my question. So are there like etiquettes that you would I don't know if this falls within the scope of what you're teaching us today, but I hope it does. Are there etiquettes of what you would consider a good politician to have when it comes to social media engagement, especially with passing information? And another side question is do we expect, people in certain positions like the president, the vice president, to always respond to, let's take for instance, security issues in the country? Like, do they have to do that? Because I know that there was a time where the Ministry of Interior worked on a mandate of, not fueling insecurity because of this symbiotic relationship. This was especially during the Boko Haram era. I don't know if I can even say that because it's not like we're past it. And then yeah, so just basically what key things should we watch out for, especially for people here who might want to go into politics? So what key things should we watch out for when addressing things when it comes to correctness, etiquette of using social media, and are key people expected to respond to everything that is happening within the country? And I mean, maybe politicians here. Thank you.
Okay, so to start with, first, in our conversations, we talked about returns on investment. And for returns on investment, it refers to a particular strategy that a political party, the election management body, or the individuals running for office, or the individuals who are partners in progress have with regards to the political ecosystem. And so, if you do not have as a strategy to be responsive, remember, the whole idea of inaction or action is actually response. And so, should a flood happen in Victoria Island and the governor does not say anything, neither does the Commissioner of Environment say anything, they have actually said something. So, you need to look at what is said and unsaid, what is expressed or not expressed. Remember, I talked about how you go to campaign, one person is wearing suit, another person is wearing agbada, another person is wearing packet shirt, another person is wearing palm slippers. Another person is coming with a private jet, another person is coming with a helicopter, another person took the train, another person took the bus, another person took along. All of this come to play. So if they do not have that as their strategy, it should not. Remember, in this conversation, we're talking about three broad classifications of stakeholders: the people who vote, the people who listen, the political party, and the individuals who are become or who have become the flag bearers. Remember, whether we like it or not, in Nigeria, politics hold sway many a times. And they always say that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. And so I am Kevin that I am. And then I come with my position, my character, and my values. And at any time I want, I choose a political party and I throw my money at it and I become their presidential flag bearer. Does that mean I do not have an ideology? Does that mean I do not hold the people of the country at heart? It's a rhetorical question. It's left for you to answer. But it is what it is. Should you want to present yourself for office, you must go through a political party. Should you want to win that election, a certain people need to vote for your political party. And so the galvanization of interest starts with, who are you? Where do you stand from? Where are you coming from? And who are the people that are going to vote for you? If all of these are not in place, then he or she cannot win any seat, because that is what is dictated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so I hope I've answered your questions and not confused you with regards to what you have requested. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir. You have answered me. I did want to know there's a question relating to this too as well that has to do with responding to. So I asked this because I've seen it happen online where um a particular governor spoke on a security situation in another state, despite having security issues in his state, and then the comments obviously reflected that. So does that go against like political etiquette for like governors who have their states to speak on issues going on in other states when we share like a common I just wanted to know your opinion on that.
So that's why I said it's a strategy. If the person that is occupying that position does not have that as a strategy, you cannot hold him to it. We have presently now individuals saying, if you see a post on social media and my name is Kevin Akoji, and you see every post you see KA, it means I posted it myself. But if you see any post that does not have KA on it, it means it's my media team that responded. And if any blowback should come, blame it on my media team and not me. But please, let's not lie to ourselves. What is media team and what is the candidate himself? Are they not one and the same person or one and the same institution? Are they not one and the same team trying to pursue a goal? Because whether we like it or not, should the person win office, it's not the media team that will enjoy the gains of that win. It's the candidate. So why are you separating yourself from what you publish or not publish? So what we should just put it is that I think let us be adults here. If you want to run for office and you start running for office, you should say, I am going to be an engaging political participant in this ecosystem. Or you say, I am not going to engage. Because like I said, your ability to engage or not is a statement. And so it's not left for you to decipher what exactly I am saying. I don't know. It seems like a conversation in paradox, but it is what it is because you cannot force somebody to use digital media. Remember, the Universal Human Rights Clause stands that he or she can pursue what he or she wants to pursue at every time, place, and situation with regards to whatever he or she feels is right or not. And so there's no universal digital communication strategy that says, should you want to be or should you be a stakeholder in the political ecosystem, you must use social media. And I'm sure, not to play with your head, but I'm sure your office does not use all the social media platforms. I'm using myself as an example. I run a multimedia marketing company, digital marketing advisory and compliance, but I do not use all the digital mediums because my clients are not on TikTok. And so we are not posting nothing because the clients that we manage are not TikToking anything for whatsoever reason. And so do you think we should put our energy on TikTok? Should we want to do that, then maybe we might pick somebody for whatever reason, either for corporate social responsibility or to employ somebody using the quota system and place the person as our TikTok officer. And he can do whatever he wants to do based on the corporate governance principles of our company and post whatever he wants to post on TikTok. But our customers are not on TikTok. If I want to even put some pride or put some pen to a name, when last did you see a Bugatti advert? And when you saw the Bugatti advert, did you buy the car? Yes or no? But based on the metrics of advertisement is that we have a product, advertise, and then you buy. But now I'm advertising and you're not buying. Or should we talk about Coca-Cola? Let's give them the accolades. Coca-Cola has existed for many years. Many people consume Coca-Cola, but Coca-Cola and Red Bull are still doing advertisements till tomorrow. Do you think they should stop or not continue? So these are paradoxes that exist. We cannot force anybody to use any platform to showcase their ideas or their narratives because the universal human rights gives them their privileges to exercise whatever they want to do. And so wherever you meet information, you consume it And that is why we're giving you the tools here in this class, so that when you consume it, you do not fall for it. And so I don't expect any person that has come through the cohorts of the Electoral College to meet an individual that is running for a legislative position to now come and tell you that I'm going to bring light, I'm going to bring water, and I'm going to bring basic amenities to your office, to your locality, or to his constituency, when you know that his role is a legislative position. A legislative position is what? Oversight, creation of laws and bills, as in tandem with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with regards to the entire polity. So where on earth did he come that he's now producing lights, power, and road? Yes, we have an anomaly in our constitution, which is called the constituency project. That came to be because our own level of democracy has not advanced such that somebody that is driving a Prado Jeep and claiming he's in the National Assembly is now coming to visit his constituency in the mud. And so they needed to give them some level of power so that they will not be backing and nothing will be happening. And so an anomaly was created called constituency allowance that makes them do some level of executive positions or executive powers. And we manage it as such. But we do not expect that that is what should be the new normal, because ideally, the role of the executive is the executive, and the role of the judiciary and the legislature are all independent and complementary. I hope I've answered your question. I see another question by Isaac. The political system of this country has been in manipulation for a long time. Honestly, I appreciate the value being given to us in the ECM platform. What still bothers me is people are not even interested in the general knowledge about this whole process and the needful to control and participate in our electoral processes. I'm just applauding the efforts of the whole board of ECN and the ED for putting it together. I interestingly read this out because, see, let's not lie to ourselves. We are in an age and time that if you do not give people their flowers, they will get burnt out. And so in as much I exist in the faculty of the Electoral College and also a founding member and a member of the board of trustees, please, we need our flowers. Anywhere you see us, give us a hug. Anywhere you see our post, please retweet, like, and post, or reshare, or whatever language you want to do. Anywhere you go to, please be an ambassador of the Electoral College, because our job is immense. Nigeria is over 250, I don't want to call whether million or billion, because until we have another census, which is another conversation of another day, we will not find out how many persons exist in Nigeria. So for you listening to my voice, please, if what we have taught you is of value, teach somebody to teach somebody to teach another person. Let us start there and continue pushing, because that way we'll be able to express our ideas of politeracy over the world. Tunde, with the emergence of AI, would you say it could affect the social media positively or negatively, especially with speculative information, how candidates can deal with it? So, like I said earlier, whether we like it or not, we are a country of repute. We are a country to be held in high level of esteem. And AI is here for us to be used, harnessed, and managed, whether we like it or not, in whatever perspective. Remember, not too distant, we had a case in point whereby a political office holder was mimicked in a video expressing an ideas in favor of a particular political party. But upon investigation, we discovered that those videos were AI or deep fakes, as the case may be. Whether we like it or not, these individuals that occupy political power have their pictures all over the world or all over the internet. They have their voice algorithm on the internet. And so should I want to do a video now of the ED himself saying, I support so and so political party, I can actually project it and shoot it and put $1 million and project it on Facebook. And many people will believe that Kunle Lawal is supporting this particular party, not knowing that he actually did not project that particular video or promote it. So the onus now still comes back to us. Do you think this person can do it? And what are the mediums in which you can verify AI publications? You go back to the root source. For anybody that can do an AI video, it means they already have digital platforms in which they can showcase information. And that is why you see that automatically, either the government of the day will go to their handle, House NGR as per the House of Representatives, or Senate Gov, or state.gov, and say, we are reacting to the recent viral video that showcased the president saying XYZ. It is not the president. It is not information that is showcased by us. So regardless of whether anybody or an institution do not want to embrace digital platforms, it is necessary that they have individuals or persons that can respond on those platforms, albeit reactionary, diplomatically, progressive, or empathetic with regards to any situation or scenario that might come to bear. Because if they do not, the individual consuming that information risk the ability to consume that information and say, yes, this person said this or that, or this person is showcasing these particular ideas with regards to his candidacy, or regards to their political party, or regards to the election management body. Remember, everybody is a suspect until proven guilty, or I've forgotten the language that our counsels or esquires call it. We are innocent until proven guilty. So that is the situation in which we find ourselves in. And so that's the same thing we want to put juxtaposed with regards to AI. AI is here to stay, is a body of knowledge base drawn from information that is put on the internet, whether via Google sources, Wikipedia, individual websites, individual blog posts, or microsites. So we owe ourselves a duty to review and ensure that whatever information we are consuming is as recommended and represents or showcases the ideas, wills, and caprices of whoever it is that is the subject matter at any particular time. I'm trying to look through the chat box. Sir, in your opinion, is political communication in Nigeria helping or hurting democracy? Sir, I'm a social science enthusiast. I'm a social science professor. I will tell you it is hurting, and I will tell you it is helping. And the only way we can identify, and I'll say yes or no, is when we bring statistics in place. But me and you know that the grants I have in my hand, by the grace of God, can only cover 3 people. And so if I meet 3 people that are, unfortunately for me, being sponsored by the government of the day, and they fill my questionnaire and say that communication in Nigeria is helping democracy, then based on the powers that I have and the resources at my disposal, then it means communication in Nigeria is helping democracy. But if I have more grants and I can interview 1 million people, it means based on the demographic or the respondents that I will have with regards to that question, that's what will determine my position with regards to this. And so, as a teacher, I'm telling you, it is helping and hurting. But as an individual, I will say, what can we do to make sure it helps us? Because the only role we have right now is a case in point whereby whatever it is that exists in our country, Nigeria, is such that we need to make sure that whatever information is projected in our country must help our country. And if it does not help our country, then we are doing a disservice to our country, because whether we like it or not, we own a green passport and we exist in Nigeria. And should you want to leave the country, Nigeria, you must have a green passport. So whether you like it or not, and you don't want to be proudly Nigerian, I'm waiting for you at the borders of Nigeria. And I want to see how you will expand yourself from Nigeria to the next country without a passport. And then should you want to use that passport, it means you are Nigerian. And it means Nigeria is our own. We must protect it, we must project it, we must make it better. And so it becomes a game of you and I to make Nigeria better.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, Mr. Kevin. Thank you so much, sir, for shifting our perspective on social media. Is really appreciate you, your time, and all the knowledge you've imparted to us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And class, you can show your appreciation in the chat, please. I will allow all of us to unmute so that we can show our appreciation.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
Thank you
much,
very
sir. Thank you
much.
for the
Much
enlightenment.
Thank you so
appreciated.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
We
so
are
much.
proud of you,
So
sir.
much.
Thanks,
Thank
that
you for
was
the
great.
work you are doing.
Thank
It's
you.
really
Thank you.
enlightening.
Thank you very
I really
much,
do
sir.
appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Bye.
We definitely represent you well.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you,
Please,
sir.
you need to have your
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir. Really
sir.
appreciate, sir.
We appreciate you, sir.